Hey guys, PJ back with Exotic Car Hacks, and today we are talking about the 4 best luxury hacks of 2022. I've been receiving a ton of emails from you guys asking me, and literally, what are the 4 best cars I could be looking at if I'm looking to put a lot of miles on a car and I'm looking to hack using your strategy found in Exotic Car Hacks. So part of you guys aren't actually part of my platform, so it might help for you to go through the description in the video and actually take my free training so you at least understand what car hacking is. For everyone else that has no idea what car hacking is and thinks we sell cars on tour or some shit, you need to get your stuff straight and click the link in the description and watch the training. It's free, so it's not even cost you anything to watch it. So you can't say like, I don't have money, I don't want to be sold something. It's free. Like literally when you go to a doctor's office and you get a candy and you don't have to pay for it. We're probably paying for it with insurance, you just don't know that. Anyways, so today we're gonna talk about the luxury cars that are the best cars to specifically be looking to hack in 2022. I would recommend, if you haven't gone through my training and are just going to say, well, I'm just gonna buy a car because he said in his video, that's a pretty dangerous thing to do, and I would recommend highly against that. So please take a moment, learn the process, and don't fall victim to being lazy. That's not going to get you anywhere in life. So, you know, the 4 cars that I think will do really well this year in terms of allowing people to put at least 5,000 to 8,000 free miles on and still won't be losing any real value are going to be, I think, starting with the first one, the S63 and the S65 sedan variants. So I've been saying for the last 2-3 years that the S63 and the S65 platforms are incredibly underpriced, especially as we've undergone inflation, the new pricing, and the lack of discounts from Mercedes. And I think that the 2014 to 2017 S63, S65 variants are some of the best bangs for the bucks on the market that don't pretend to be something they're not, and also still quality cars that don't break down as much while still being really, really awesome cars to drive around. Tech is updated. Luxury style is good, doesn't look too outdated from the outside, so it's just a really good 1-year usage, especially if you can get one with the right miles and drive it up using some of the strategies taught at Exotic Car Hacks. So the second car though that I think is going to be a really good car this year and continue to do well is the Range Rover SVR. Now Rover has done a really good job at bringing back more supply and not being bogged down by the supply chain issues that many manufacturers have been bogged down with. So in 22, I don't think we're going to see a shortage of Range Rovers on the market, and I think a lot of the focus will be on their brand new big body car that has come out, and the Sport hasn't yet to be released in a new format yet, which it will soon. Usually it's big body, Sport, and then the rest of the line follows. But because the big body is going to be so popular, and again, only mainly orders are going to be on the ground, not really sitting units, you're going to not really see any Sports being discounted that much. Now, Sports are one thing, which I think the SVRs are very expensive cars to begin with, in the 120, 150K range for the newer Sport SVRs, but I think that the old SVR, the 2015, 16, and 17, continues to be one of the best bangs for the buck in the line. It's almost identical to the 18, fine, it doesn't have digital climate, but who gives a crap? The interface is updated in 17, so you're basically getting the same car. And one of the key things with this car is you're getting a lot of car for the money, again, being able to buy these cars in the 60K range. They are fantastic. They drive really well, they sound exciting, and I don't think that price point is going to get slashed any further than like 55, 60K, so it's a pretty safe car to buy in that range and continue to hold and drive. Another car that's going to be probably very surprising to you guys that I've had a lot of respect for recently because I've interacted with them, and I think from a price point standpoint they just do spectacularly well, and that is the Jaguar FPace SVR. Now, the Jaguar FPace is really one of these weird cars which I never looked at nor cared about. But a lot of people that don't want older tech, that want newer stuff, that are like, hey, I want a new car, I want the warranty, I want the infotainment, I want all this tech and gadgets, and I don't want this smell or feeling that I'm driving an older car with 10, 20,000 miles, then you're looking at newer cars. And the only new cars that really make sense right now are cars that are completely out of reach, and they wouldn't make sense if the economy inverted or started getting much weaker, like on a continuous basis in the Sworden end, except for this particular car, the FPace SVR. I say this because you have to understand the price index where it's at means that there's very little competition by other manufacturers for the car at this dollar. So at $70,000 range, it's just an incredible car, lots of car for the money, and you could easily put 5,000 to 7,000 miles on a near new one and dump it for the exact same price you paid if you have a good spec. So that is a surprising car because Jaguars don't usually come up on my list, but a really good car. I think it's built of quality too. I've interacted with it several times, and I have nothing but the respect for Jaguar stepping up with the particular SVR only series here for the FPace. And last but not least, the BMW M5. We've seen the new CS competition kind of come out, the competition series M5, selling for over MSRP, basically for almost 200K with 140K MSRP. You can buy a really nice 15 to 18, 18 being the new body, 15 being the old one. You can buy a really nice variation of those cars anywhere in the 50s to the 70s, depending on what year, mileage, etc. But those are incredible cars. They really haven't moved in price over the last 2 years and continue to stay strong in the 50s, and the new bodies continue to stay strong in the 70, 80 range. But they are incredibly good cars. Like they run really well, they don't have any reliability issues, and on top of that, there's just a lot of bang for the buck. And I think this really comes down to, in inflationary periods and economies, it always makes sense to buy assets, like strong assets that are doing well based on the price index. So basically putting it this way, economic boost or slash everything going to shit because of inflation, you had cars that were basically undervalued. They were created with so much more value for the consumer because they were competing with a range of other higher end cars. But in inflationary modes, when everything starts to go up, those higher end, more in demand cars go to the roof first. But the ones that are high production that were undervalued now come to a place where they're basically valued for what they are. And I think the M5 is one of those cars. It was really undervalued by the markets for such a long time. You could buy M3s, etc. at the same price as an M5 when the M5 MSRP was significantly more. So the BMW M5 is one of my best recommendations for a hack in 2022 when it comes to a luxury car you can add some miles to. In addition to that, I would say that if you want a newer car, you would go for an 18, but I think the 15 and 16s are still spectacular cars altogether.